Welcome to Random Scriptures. I read from the ISR, the Institute for Scripture Research, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only, and he's an extremely jealous El. He's so jealous that he doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. And Yah is short for YahWeh, YahWeh, Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh. It's like saying Dan, Daniel, Daniel with an E. What is the difference and does matters when people say that Phil, Bob, Sam, and Aaron are the same name when no they're not, and no one in their right mind would ever believe that. And only a fool would believe that a hammer could force its creator to do anything, and there was no letter J in the Hebrew, Greek, or Aramaic text because a letter J is only about 600 years old. Well, the son of Elohim, Yahoshua, died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity over 2,000 years ago, and a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Yahoshua is Joshua, and I strongly believe that the son of Elohim's name, Yahoshua, means Yahweh is salvation. So I was flipping through, and I stopped on Genesis 45, and I think I'm going to read the whole thing of 45, because that's awesome. It's about Yosef and the Pharaoh and his brothers and asking about his dad, so on and so forth down the line. Genesis 45. And Yosef, Y-O-S-E with a half a check mark on top of it, P-H, was unable to restrain himself before all those who stood by him, and he called out, "Have everyone go out from me." So no one stood with him while Yosef made himself known to his brothers, and he wept aloud, and the Mitzrites, M-I-T-S-R-I-T-E-S, and the house of Pharaoh heard it. Pharaoh is P-H-A-R-A-O-H. And Yosef said to his brothers, "I am Yosef. Is my father still alive?" But his brothers were unable to answer him, for they trembled before him, because they were afraid of him, because he now had power, even though they literally tried to kill him, and then he got sold. Then Yosef said to his brothers, "Please come near to me." And when they came near, he said, "I am Yosef, your brother, whom you sold into Mitzrayim," M-I-T-S-R-A-Y-I-M. So the Egyptians is the Mitzrites, and Mitzrayim is Egypt. I think I said that the Mitzrites was Egypt, and that was incorrect. They're Egyptians, not Egypt. Egypt is a place, not a people. Egyptians are a people. "And now do not be grieved nor displeased with yourselves because you sold me here, for Elohim sent me before you to preserve life. For 2 years now the scarcity of food has been in the land, and there are still 5 years in which there is neither plowing nor harvesting, and Elohim sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant in the earth, and to give life to you by a great escape. So then you did not send me here, but Elohim, and he has set me for a father to Pharaoh and master of all his house and a ruler throughout all the land of Mitzrayim. Hurry and go up to my father and say to him, 'Thus says your son Yosef, Elohim has made me master of all Mitzrayim. Come down to me, do not delay, and you shall dwell in the land of Goshen,' Goshen, and be near to me, you and your children, and your children's children, your flocks and your herds, and all that you have, and I shall provide for you there, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty, because 5 years of scarcity of food are still to come. And look, your eyes and the eyes of my brother Binyamin, Binyamin, see that it is my mouth that speaks to you, and you shall inform my father of all my esteem in Mitzrayim, and of all that you have seen, and you shall hurry and bring my father down here." And he fell on his brother Binyamin's neck and wept, and Binyamin wept on his neck. And he kissed all his brothers and wept over them. And after that his brothers spoke with him, and the report of it was heard by the house of Pharaoh, saying, "The brothers of Joseph have come." And it was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Say to your brother, do this, load Load your beasts and go, enter the land of Canaan, Kena', and take your father and your households and come to me, and I give you the best of the land of Mitzrayim, and you eat the fat of the land, and you have been commanded to this. Take wagons out of the land of Mitzrayim for your little ones and your wives, and you shall bring your father and come, and do not be concerned about your goods, for the best of the land of Mitzrayim is yours. And the sons of Yisrael, Yisra', with a half a check mark, L, did so. And Joseph gave them wagons according to the mouth of Pharaoh, and he gave them food for the journey. He gave to all of them, to each man, changes of garments, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of garments. And he sent to his father this 10 donkeys loaded with the best of Mitzrayim, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain and bread and food for his father for the journey. So he sent his brothers away, and they left, and he said to them, do not quarrel along the way. And they went up out of Mitzrayim and came to the land of Canaan, to Jacob, YA'AQOB, with a line underneath of it, their father. And I used to think Jacob was Jacob, but it's not Jacob, it's James. Isn't that weird? Jacob isn't Jacob, it's James. I think that might be an incorrect translation, but that's what they say. But Jacob isn't Jacob, it's James. Again, I think that might be an incorrect thing, but I have no proof to back that up. And they told him, saying, Joseph is still alive, and he is governor over all the land of Mitzrayim. And Jacob's heart ceased, for he did not believe them. But when they spoke to him all the words which Joseph had spoken to them, and when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to transport him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Yisrael said, enough, my son Joseph is still alive. Let me go and see him before I die. Amen. Something I really just want to read that was really put on my heart is Genesis. I think I'm going to read Genesis 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1 to 3. Genesis 1 to 3. Like Genesis 1, Genesis 2, Genesis 3. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth came to be formless and empty, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the spirit of Elohim was moving on the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let light come to be, and light came to be. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good, and Elohim separated the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning one day. And Elohim said, let an expanse come to be in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. And Elohim made the expanse, and separated the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse. And it came to be so. That's kind of interesting, because you look at like the ocean, and there's a clear line between what's salt water and what's fresh water. It's the solid straight line going through. I mean, it may not be like straight, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's not patches here and there. It's like a wall. One's salt, one's not. Separating them. Where am I at? And it came to be so. And Elohim called the expanse heavens. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the second day. And Elohim said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it came to be so. And Elohim called the dry land earth, and the collection of the waters he called seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, the plant that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it came to be so. I just want to point out that Noah's Ark, the flood, the Grand Canyon, the markings on the walls of the Grand Canyon from the water. Atheists or those things were built on the backs of crystals that weren't ever there in the first place. Nothing created everything kind of crap. They believed that the water went up, or that those things formed up. But if you look on the wall, there's water damage, if you could call it that, that shows it that the water started up and went down because of the flood. It filled up and it slowly went down. Creation science. There's so much to back it up. It's crazy. Anyways, let's get back to this. And it came to be so. And Elohim called the dry land earth, and the collection of the waters he called seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, the plant that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, and whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it came to be so. And the earth brought forth grass, the plant that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the third day. And Elohim said, let lights come to be in the expanse of the heavens, to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and appointed times, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens, to give light on the earth. And it came to be so. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And Elohim set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the fourth day. And Elohim said, let the waters teem with shoals, shoals, of living beings, and let birds fly above the earth on the face of the expanse of the heavens. And Elohim created great sea creatures, and every living being that moves, with which the waters teemed, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim blessed them, saying, be fruitful and increase, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the fifth day. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living being according to its kind, livestock and creeping creatures, fancy English creatures, and beasts of the earth according to its kind. And it came to be so. And Elohim made the beast of the earth according to its kind, livestock according to its kind, and all that creep on the earth according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over all the creeping creatures that creep on the ground. I just want to point out that Elohim means mighty ones, and Elohim means judges and rulers, which are the mightiest of the mighty ones. So it means the same thing. And Elohim created the man in his image. In the image of Elohim he created him, male and female he created them. Now why would he have to specify if he was talking about him and his angels? He wouldn't have to specify. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said to them, be fruitful and increase, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over all creeping creatures on the earth. And Elohim said, see, I have given you every plant that yields seed which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to every creeping creature on the earth in which there is a living being, every green plant is for food. Every green plant is for food. And it came to be so, and Elohim saw all that he had made, and see, it was very good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the sixth day. I want you to bear with me here. When it says that everything is all food for everything, this was before he made man. So all those insects can free roam to wherever they want. They can do whatever they want. They can eat whatever they want. It doesn't matter. 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed, and all their array. And in the seventh day Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested in the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and set it apart, because on it he rested from all his work which Elohim in creating had made. There are the births of the heavens and the... You think they would have also said YahWeh, right? They would have said YahWeh created it, not Elohim created it, because Elohim means mighty ones. That means they both worked on it, which is really, really fascinating when you realize how much Yahoshua and YahWeh are actually talked about in the entire word. A lot more than people think, because they read the Babylonian Talmud version, which lowercases all of it, to make people think that, oh no, it's not talking about another. Demonizing it, or what's that word? Devaluing it. That's what they're doing. They're devaluing the word of Yah. And people believe it. They're like, oh, it's the first 5 books. We only listen to the first 5 books, and the only way we can actually believe that it's only the first 5 books is if we read the Babylonian Talmud version, which shrinks all those upper cases to lower cases, so you think that they're talking about just the messengers or just something else. You can't have it done the right way and have only using the first 5 books. Can't do it. It's not possible. And same thing with the greasy grazers. I just proved the work's only wrong. Greasy grazers, same thing. Yahoshua preached the good news, which was the word of Yah, the Sabbath, the feasts, loving everybody no matter what, loving YahWeh with all your heart, mind, spirit, strength, body, everything. Anyways, I'm gonna get back into this. Oh yes, and if you love YahWeh, or if you love the Son, then you love the Father, and if you love the Father, then you'll do as he says. But if you don't love the Father, then you don't love the Son. And if you are YahWeh's people, then you are of the seed of Abraham. And if you are of the seed of Abraham, then it is your obligation to follow what he says. If you actually love him, you would just do it. That's what it's getting at. And it says so many times throughout the word that people just chose to forget his word, and that's why all that stuff is happening, because they forgot his word. They chose not to do it. What about Yah's constitution? Seriously? Does that not matter? Love everyone as how you should love yourself, and love YahWeh with all your being, all your heart, all your strength. Just caring about people, but that's unheard of. How dare we do such a thing like that? People are just greedy. Anyways. Where am I at? And Elohim blessed the seventh day and set it apart, because on it he rested from all his work which Elohim in creating had made. These are the birds of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that YahWeh Elohim made earth and heavens. Now no shrub of the field was yet on the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up, For Yahweh Elohim had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground, but a mist went up from the earth and watered the entire surface of the ground. And Yahweh Elohim formed the man out of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils breath of lives, and the man became a living being. And Yahweh Elohim planted a garden in Eden, E with a half a check mark, D with a line underneath of it, E-N, to the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground Yahweh Elohim made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, with the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became four heads. Remember in Revelations the four-headed beasts? And from there it divided and became four heads. The name of the first is Pishon, P-I-S-H-O-N. It is the one surrounding the entire land of HalleluYah, H with a dot underneath of it, A-W-I-L-A-H, there where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium or Delium, B-D-E-L-L-I-U-M, is there, and the Shoham stone, S-H-O-H-A-M, and the name of the second river is Gihon, G-I-H with a dot O-N. It is the one surrounding the entire land of Cush, K-U-S-H, and the name of the third river is Hiddekel, H with a dot I-D-D-E-Q-E-L. It is the one which goes toward the east of Ashur, A-S-H-S-H-U-R, and the fourth river is the Euphrates, E-U-P-H-R-A-T-E-S. And Yahweh Elohim took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. And Yahweh Elohim commanded the man, saying, Eat of every tree of the garden, but do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you eat of it you shall certainly die. And Yahweh Elohim said, It is not good for the man to be alone. I am going to make a helper for him as his counterpart. And from the ground Yahweh Elohim formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living being, that was its name. So the man gave names to all livestock, and to the birds of the heavens, and to every beast of the field. But for the man there was not found a helper for him as his counterpart. For Yahweh Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. And the rib which Yahweh Elohim had taken from the man he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. And the man said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one is called woman, because she was taken out of man. For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, yet they were not ashamed, because they didn't know good and evil. And whatever Yahweh puts together, let no man separate. Genesis 3. And the Nahash, N-A-H with a dot, A-S-H, which traditionally rendered as the serpent, a serpent capital S, as well as serpent lowercase, Nahash. Nahash is also a name. So this Nahash is Nahash, capital N-A-H with a dot, A-S-H. This is a Nahash, but it is also the Nahash, the serpent, Satan, here to deceive you, here to make sure that your free will stays free will. And the Nahash was more crafty than all the lives of the field which Yahweh Elohim had made. And he said to the woman, It is true that Elohim has said, Do not eat. Is it true that Elohim has said, Do not eat of every tree of the garden? twisting his words. And the woman said to the Nahash, we are to eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, do not eat of it, nor touch it, lest you die. All they said was, don't eat it. And Nahash said to the woman, you shall certainly not die, for Elohim knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be like Elohim, knowing good and evil, but not Elohim at all. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree desirable to make one wise, and she took of its fruit and ate, and she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made loin coverings for themselves, and they heard the voice of Yahweh Elohim walking about in the garden toward the wind of the day, and Adam, AD with a line underneath of it, AM, and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh Elohim among the trees of the garden. And Yahweh Elohim called unto Adam and said to him, where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself. And he said, who made you know that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, the woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. And Yahweh Elohim said to the woman, what is this you have done? And the woman said, the Nahash deceived me, and I ate. And instead of asking Yahweh for help, for understanding, she just decided to listen to it. And same with Adam. Adam did the same thing. Instead of, asking Yahweh about this fruit, he just took it from her. So he's just as fault as she is. Free choice. They both made the choice. And Yahweh Elohim said to the woman, what is this you have done? And the woman said, the Nahash deceived me, and I ate. And Yahweh Elohim said to the Nahash, because you have done this, you are cursed more than all livestock, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you are to go, and eat dust all the days of your life. And I put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed, capital S seed, talking about Yahoshua. They shall crush your head, and you shall crush his heel. He shall crush your head, so he's going to kill the serpent. And you, the people, are, that's what they're talking about, shall crush his heel, which is what they did when they executed him for nothing. But it had to happen. To the woman he said, I greatly increase your sorrow and your conception. Bring forth children in pain, and your desire is for your husband, and he does rule over you. And to the man he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, do not eat of it, cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you are to eat of it all the days of your life. And the ground, fancy English, the ground, shall bring forth thorns and thistles for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you are to eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you return. And the man called his wife's name Hawa, H with a dot, AWWAH, because she became the mother of all living. And Yahweh Elohim made coats of skin for the man and his wife, and dressed them. And Yahweh Elohim said, see, the man has become like one of us, fancy English, us, no, not fancy English, capitalized you, talking about Yahoshua and Yahweh. See, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil, and now lest he put out his hand to take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. So Yahweh Elohim sent him out of the garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. And he drove the man out, and he placed cherubim, Kerub, with a line underneath of it, I am, at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way of the tree of life. You know, this might sound a little bit suicidal, but I kind of want to go see the tree of life. Like, I wouldn't eat of it, I know better, but it would be really cool to see that garden and to see that flaming sword twirling around there. It's probably like you'll just die if you go up to it or touch it. Maybe you won't even see the flame, who knows? Maybe you'll get a big warning in your brain that says, hey, look what's standing in front of you, don't do it. Maybe not. Oh yeah, Leviticus 18. And YahWeh spoke to Moshe, Mosheh, which is Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, which is Israel, and say to them, I am YahWeh your Elohim. Do not do as they do in the land of Mitzrayim, where you dwelt, and do not do as they do in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you, and do not walk in their laws. Do my right rulings and guard my laws to walk in them. I am YahWeh your Elohim. Praise YahWeh that we stopped on this. And you shall guard my laws and my right rulings, which a man does and lives by them. I am YahWeh. This is a law forever and ever. This is not something that stops because you no longer have to make a blood sacrifice. No one is to approach anyone of his own flesh to uncover his nakedness. I am YahWeh. The nakedness of your father, nor the nakedness of your mother, you do not uncover. She is your mother. You do not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's wife, you do not uncover. It is your father's nakedness. The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother, whether born at home or elsewhere, their nakedness you do not uncover. The nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, their nakedness you do not uncover, for theirs is your own nakedness. The nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, brought forth by your father, she is your sister, you do not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's sister you do not uncover. She is your father's flesh. The nakedness of your mother's sister you do not uncover, for she is your mother's flesh. The nakedness of your father's brother you do not uncover. You do not approach his wife. She is your aunt. The nakedness of your daughter-in-law you do not uncover. She is your son's wife. You do not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your brother's wife you do not uncover. It is your brother's nakedness. The nakedness of a woman and her daughter you do not uncover, nor do you take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness. They are her relatives. It is wickedness. And do not take a woman as a rival to her sister to uncover her nakedness while the other is alive, and do not approach a woman to uncover her nakedness in her monthly separation of uncleanness. Everybody does that. I'm pretty sure there's a part in here that says, like, you did it, well, the rest of the man does it, so what did you really do that wasn't, like, something people already do? Like, that's really disgusting to have sex with someone who's in their period. Anyways. It's just, humanity does that. Only really gross people don't follow that. So it's not a big thing for you to follow that. But you shouldn't. I'm not saying that you should choose to not follow it. What I'm saying is you should follow that, but don't act like it's a big thing because a majority of the world follows that because it's disgusting. Anyways, and do not have intercourse with the wife of your neighbor to defile yourself with her, and do not give any of your offspring to pass through to Molech, Molek, with a line underneath of it, which is an idol, by the way, a deity, a mighty one, lowercase letters, of course. And do not profane the name of your Elohim. I am YahWeh. His name is YahWeh. There is no other name than YahWeh. And do not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. So 2 men having sex or 2 women having sex is an abomination. And do not have intercourse with any beast to defile yourself with it. And a woman does not stand before a beast to mate with it. It is a perversion. Do not defile yourselves with all these, for by all these the nations are defiled, which I am driving out before you. Thus the land became defiled, therefore I punished it for its crookedness, and the land vomited out its inhabitants. But you shall guard my laws and my right rulings, and not do any of these abominations, the native nor sojourner who sojourns among you, because the men of the land who were before you have done all these abominations, and thus the land became defiled. So let not the land vomit you out for defiling it, as it vomited out the nations that were before you. And it did exactly that. It vomited out Israel. YahWeh had to exile his people because of their wickedness. And these Zionists we see here trying to make this one world government, they are the same Zionists of Babel that are under the hand of YahWeh exiling the people and making all this happen. And he tells us not to interfere. Do not retaliate against my exile. It's like, okay, that means I'm literally gonna look like a coward and die, but hey, your blood isn't on my hands in that sense that I killed you and stopped your ability to have your soul spared by killing you and taking it from you. Let not the land vomit you out for defiling it, as it vomited out the nations that were before you. For whoever does any of these abominations, those beings who do them shall be cut off from among their people, and you shall guard my charge, so as not to do any of these abominable laws which were done before you, so as not to defile yourselves by them. I am YahWeh, your Elohim. Amen. Actually, I want to go back one to Leviticus 17 and just look at it real quick. Because getting the hold on. What is Genesis 30? Is there Genesis 30? Yeah, it was like 50 or something. Yeah, I'm going to read Leviticus 19 as well. And YahWeh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say to them, Be set apart, for I, YahWeh, your Elohim, am set apart. Each one of you should fear his brother and his father, fear his mother and his father, not his brother and his father, and guard my Sabbaths. I am YahWeh, your Elohim. You will guard my Sabbaths. So YahWeh Sabbaths. Where in there does it say to throw it out? It doesn't. Nowhere does it say there. Quite a few times does it say, however, that it is a law forever and ever. Amen. That's what it says. And a law forever and ever means it's never, ever, ever going to end. It's forever and ever. How can that be mistaken as now that we no longer have to make a blood sacrifice, that means we no longer have to follow the Sabbath? What? They have nothing to do with each other. What are you talking about? Anyways. Speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say to them, Be set apart, for I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am set apart. Each one of you should fear his mother and his father, and guard my Sabbaths. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. Do not turn to idols, and do not make for yourselves molded mighty ones. I am Yahweh, your Elohim, and when you slaughter a slaughtering of peace offerings to Yahweh, slaughter it for your acceptance. It is eaten the same day you slaughter it, and on the next day, and that which is left on the third day is burned with fire. You no longer have to make blood sacrifices because Yahoshua became the blood sacrifice. Continuing. So if it is eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable, is not accepted, and he who eats it bears his crookedness, because he has profaned the set-apart offering of Yahweh, and that being shall be cut off from his people. And when you reap the harvest of your land, do not completely reap the corners of your field, nor gather the gleanings of your harvest, and do not glean your vineyard, or gather any grape of nor gather every grape of your vineyard. Leave them for the poor and the sojourner. I am Yahweh your Elohim. Do not steal, do not lie, do not deceive one another, do not swear falsely by my name, and so profane the name of your Elohim. I am Yahweh. Do not oppress your neighbor, nor rob him. Fancy English, him. The wages of him who is hired is not to remain with you all night until morning. Do not curse the deaf, or put a stumbling block before the blind, but fear your Elohim. I am Yahweh. Do no unrighteousness in right ruling. Do not be partial to the poor, or favor the face of the great, but highly rule your neighbor in righteousness. Do not go slandering among your people. Do not stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yahweh. Do not hate your brother in your heart. Reprove your neighbor for certain, and bear no sin because of him. Do not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the children of your people, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahweh. Guard my laws. Do not let your livestock mate with another kind. Do not sow your field with mixed seed, and do not put a garment woven of two sorts of thread upon you. I don't understand that at all. And when a man has intercourse with a woman who is a female servant engaged to a man, and to be ransomed, but, fancy English, but she has not been ransomed nor set free, there should be an inquiry. But they are not put to death because she was not free, and he shall bring his guilt offering to Yahweh to the door of the tent of appointment. A ram is a guilt offering. Again, we no longer have to make blood sacrifices because Yahoshua, so all we have to do is ask for forgiveness at this point. And with the priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering before Yahweh for his sin which he has done, and the sin which he has sinned shall be forgiven him. And when you come into the land and have planted all kinds of trees for food, then you shall reckon their fruit as uncircumcised for 3 years. It is as uncircumcised to you, it is not eaten. Now you can't actually physically circumcise a plant, so obviously not all circumcision is physical. That was literally a spiritual circumcision, which is now what you do. You spiritually circumcise yourself. So because you spiritually circumcise yourself, because you're circumcised, you're obligated to follow the Torah, which is what the word says. If you're going to circumcise yourself, you have to follow the Torah, whether that's spiritually or physically. And the Torah, again, is the Sabbath and the feasts. Oh boy, so hard. It's not, actually. It's super easy. And people think it's hard are people who don't care and don't want to try. For 3 years it is as uncircumcised to you, it is not eaten, and in the 4th year all its fruit is set apart, praises to Yahweh, and in the 5th year you eat its fruit, so that it it increases its yield to you. I am Yahweh your Elohim. Do not eat meat with the blood. Fancy English meat, talking about like food. Do not eat meat with the blood. Do not practice divination or magic. Do not round the corner of your beard, nor destroy the corner of your beard. I don't know what that is, actually. I don't know what my corner of the beard is. I like look at my face and it's just completely round. I don't know what a corner is. And I shave it and then I let it grow back. It's not like I trim it to look like that. I don't have a corner of a beard unless that's like right up where my top of my ear is, next to where my top head hair is coming down. That could be a corner. Or my jawbone, actually. My jawbone at the each end. Right before it becomes like the under part of your jaw. That could be a corner. Or the very tip of your chin could be a corner. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I don't know any of that stuff. And do not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor put tattoo marks on you. I am Yahweh. Do not profane your daughter by making her a whore, so that the land does not whore, and the land becomes filled with wickedness. Guard my Sabbaths and reverence my set-apart place. I am Yahweh. Do not turn to mediums and do not seek after spiritists to be defiled by them. I am Yahweh your Elohim. Rise up before the gray-headed, and you shall favor the face of an old man, and shall fear your Elohim. I am Yahweh. And when a sojourner sojourns with you in your land, do not oppress him. Let the sojourner who sojourns among you be to you as the native among you, and you shall love him as yourself, for you were sojourners in the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahweh your Elohim. Do no unrighteousness in right ruling, in measurement of strength, in weight, or in measuring liquids. Have right scales, right weights, a right ephah, E with a half a check mark, PHAH, it's a measurement. I have a video on measurements if you want to go look that up. It's called Measurements. And a right hin. I am Yahweh your Elohim. Hin, H-I-N, another measurement. I am Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. And you shall guard all my laws and all my right rulings, and do them. I am Yahweh. So he makes it very clear that you will, if you love him, you will do what he says. There is no middle ground. There is no, I'm going to throw out the rest of this, but follow the rest of this. Like, what? Like greasy grazers, they won't go to a spiritist, or they won't go do this, or they won't go do that. But they'll say that we can throw out the Sabbath and stuff like that. It's stupid. Works only people are the same thing. If you don't follow everything to the T, with no mercy, no forgiveness, no none of this, you do this, I get to kill you, like hardcore. If you don't show mercy, Yahweh will not show mercy. That's a big thing. If you don't show mercy towards other people, Yahweh will not show mercy towards you. He will do to you what you do to others with no partiality. So think about that. The word is very clear on what we can and cannot do. The whole word. Not the first writings only, or the first 5 books of the first writings only, or only the second writings only. You're both in the same boat. Both of you. You're both trying to kick each other out, thinking that they're in 2 different boats, but they're not. Let's sink that boat, let's sink that boat. Oh, we're in the same boat, so you're sinking each other. Congratulations, both of you need to be just like each other. It's a mix. Anyways, I have a very strong feeling that the washer is done with my clothes, so I don't want to just run away and then come back in like 10 minutes, so I'm just going to end the video, and I may or may not make another one. Who knows? Anyways, that was really good. I like that. Amen. Praise Yahweh for this day. And breath. Big, deep breaths. It's great. I love it.